how I went from being homeless to being a full-time actress. When I was about, I want to say 15 or 16, I realized that I was molested when I was very young for many years, and I told my mother that I was molested. And she couldn't deal with it or cope with it, and so um, at first I actually went to my grandmother, I believe. I kind of vaguely remember, but I remember right after that I went to my grandmother, or she probably told me to go by and stay by my grandmother's house. And I was okay there, and going to high school while living with my grandmother. And then one day she had came, and I'm sorry. Who said that she's taking me to court, or and I didn't understand why you taking me to court. I'm at my grandmother's. I'm doing fine. I'm going to school. What is the problem? And I remember that day, like it was yesterday, and it was so many years ago. But it's like I remember going into the courthouse in Queens, and at the time I didn't know what that means, but she decided to give me over to the government to file a pens against me. I don't know what it means right now, or if it even exists right now in 2018, but I know at the time pens meant to file, to give your child over to the government, just because they they could be perfectly fine in the home, but if you as a parent decide that you want to give up your parental rights, you can do so. And I remember going into the courthouse, and the judge asking my mother, you want to give your child to the government and give over the parental rights, saying yes. And then my mother didn't even stay with me, and I remember crying my eyes out, like, oh, because I told you I was molested. And so I remember that day, it was not just me, and it was parents that actually stayed with their child. And I was just there by myself. And I remember, but being with other kids also, so that kind of made me feel a little bit better, and that I wasn't the only one that was going through that. And so the first step was to send you to, it's a group home, but it's somewhere that you go to evaluate you, to make sure that you're all right, up there, or that you don't have no mental problems. And so you stay there for 6 weeks. You actually go to school inside of